Welcome back. This is chapter 4, The Enemy, written by Pearl Asbach. And today I'm going to explain page number 34th to you. So here we go. So Sadao was now a little uneasy. He was concerned for the health of his wife, and so he became a little impatient and aggressive, a bit aggressive in nature. Now he started to think that this man had no reason to live on this planet, on this earth. Unconsciously, this thought made him ruthless, and he proceeded swiftly. And this thought that he shouldn't live on this earth made him a little ruthless, little pitiless, unkind, and he started to move about his work quite swiftly, that is, paying a little attention to all the details. In his dream, the man moaned, but Sadao paid no heed except to mutter at him, and as he started to move about quite swiftly, paying little attention to all the details, so the man began to he began to moan, he began to cry in pain. But Sadao paid no heed, no attention to his moaning, to his pain, except muttering a few words at him, saying a few things to him. Groan, he muttered, groan if you like. I am not doing this for my own pleasure. In fact, I do not know why I am doing it. Now he said that, well, groan if you like. If you're groaning, if you're, crying in pain, you may continue to do so, because he said he was not doing this for his own pleasure. There is no fun doing that. He's getting no, fun. He's not getting any kind of, joy doing this. So, if he liked, he could moan. And he further said, in fact, he did not have any idea why he was doing so. But the door opened and there was Hannah again. Where is the anesthetic? She asked in a clear voice. Now the door opened, and with the opening of the door, there appeared Hannah. She came near her husband and asked him in a very clear and resolute voice where was anesthetic, because she found that there was the need of anesthetic now, and she wanted to come to some help to her husband. Sadao motioned with his chin. It is as well that you came back, he said. This fellow is beginning to stare. Sadao didn't speak a word. He just motioned his chin to point out the liquid, to point out anesthetic, and then he said, it's quite good that you returned, because this man was now beginning to move. She had the bottle and some cotton in her hand. But how shall I do it? She asked. Now she had the bottle of the liquid in her hand, and also the cotton with her, and now she asks us how to do it, because she never did it previously. Simply saturate the cotton and hold it near his nostril. Sadao replied without delaying for one moment the intricate details of his work. When he breathes badly, move it away a little. And so, as he was going through the intricate details, that is very close details of his work, so he could not afford to stop his work, delay his work for a moment. So, without getting any kind of interruption in his work, he gave instructions to his wife and asked her to saturate the cotton, soak cotton in the liquid and then hold it near his nostril until he started to breathe heavily, until he started to have some difficulty in breathing, and then move it away. She crouched close to the sleeping face of the young American. It was a piteously thin face, she thought, and the lips were twisted. The man was suffering whether he knew it or not. Now she went near the head of the young American lying on the floor, and looking at his face she realized that it was quite thin, piteously thin. It was quite thin, and that the lips were getting twisted, or lips were twisted, so that also gave the impression to her that he was going through pain, that he was experiencing pain now, whether he was aware of it or not. Watching him, she wondered if the stories they heard sometimes of the sufferings of the prisoners were true. Now looking at this face of this American, that is the painful expression that was coming on his face, looking at this expression, she wondered whether the stories they heard of the sufferings of the prisoners of war were all true. They came like flickers of rumors told by word of mouth and always contradicted, that is, they were often unsustained rumors shared by people in their communication, in their talks, and then always contradicted, and always it was contradicted by others. In the newspapers, their reports were always that wherever the Japanese armies went, the people received them gladly, with cries of joy at their liberation. But sometimes she remembered such men as General Takima, who at home bet his wife cruelly, though no one mentioned it now that he had fought so victorious a battle in Manchuria. So, on the one hand, there was very high praise, high degree of appreciation for the Japanese forces, for their act on foreign land as they liberated natives of many countries from the cruel system, from the cruel rulers. But on the other hand, there were also stories in their own country of the general, like the General Takima, who used to beat his own wife very mercilessly, very carelessly. Though he's not talked about, he's not talked of now, these days there people hardly talk about him, yet he displayed great courage, great amount of valor in his expedition, in his victories in a battle in Manchuria. If a man like that could be so cruel to a woman in his power, would he not be cruel to one like this, for instance? And there comes a question, if such a general can be so callous to his wife, would he not be cruel to a man, to his enemy, like the one lying here, for instance? She hoped anxiously that this young man had not been tortured, and she hoped that this man was not tortured at all. It was at this moment that she observed deep red scars on his neck, just under his ear, and at that moment, as she was thinking of him, of the tortures and all, she noticed some red scars, deep red scars on his neck just under his ear. Those scars, she murmured, lifting her eyes to Sadao. But he did not answer. And then she murmured, those scars, lifting her eyes to Sadao. She muttered these words, those scars, but he did not answer. At this moment, he felt the tip of his instrument strike against something hard, dangerously near the kidney. At that moment only, the tip of his instrument, as he was examining the body, so that moment only, the tip of his instrument struck against something very hard, and it was dangerously located close to kidney. So this is all for now. Thank you.